A woman who got locked out of her Apple account minutes after her iPhone was stolen had 10 grand taken from her bank account, says Apple was not helpful at all. Will, you're going for the jugular today, dude.
Yeah. We have a lighter Apple story next.
Going for the jugular today. I don't know to what extent this is Apple's responsibility. You know, I might flip to the other side on this one, but they are responsible for the wallet, right? They're responsible for Apple Pay. And they probably said to her, call your credit card companies. They're the issuing these payments. We're just a portal. Mm-hmm. A woman said that soon after her iPhone was stolen, she was locked out of her Apple account. Rayhan Ayes said Apple was not helpful at all after $10,000 was taken from her bank account. She told Insider, once someone gets into the security environment, it turns against you. She was leaving a Manhattan bar in November when a man snatched her phone and ran off. She said Apple was unhelpful when she tried to regain access to her Apple account. Okay, well, that portion falls under Apple's responsibility, I suppose. She initially spoke to the Wall Street Journal as part of an investigation into how iPhone thieves lock people out of their Apple accounts by using their passcodes to access the phone before changing the device's password and stealing funds from the owner's bank accounts. In an interview with Insider, she said she was standing outside the bar when a man stole her iPhone 13 Pro Max. She believes he had seen her enter her passcode at some point and had waited for the chance to steal her device. Ooh. Watching, stalking, stealing. Why not use Face ID? I don't know. On a 13 Pro Max. Because Face ID doesn't always work, I guess. 31-year-old said she borrowed another iPhone to try to locate her own using the Find My iPhone function. However, she said she'd already been locked out of her Apple account by that time. I didn't know what was going on. She filed a police report the following day and showed notifications of a password reset request and login details from after her device was stolen. Insider reviewed both the police report and the notifications because she had lost access to her Apple account. She was unable to log on to her MacBook computer. She contacted Apple support, which advised her to get a new SIM card and a new iPhone. She did so, but was still unable to access her account over the next 24 hours. $10,000 was taken from her bank account. According to a bank statement viewed by Insider, she was advised to open a new account and transfer all her funds to it. It's so weird the way the whole thing breaks down all at once. Like everybody is saying, get a new iPhone, get a new this, get a new bank account, transfer whatever you've got left. And you're like, hey, I'm getting killed here, getting bombarded on this one. The support team was not helpful at all, she said. She then called Goldman Sachs, which issues Apple's credit cards, and was able to get some help. Oh, she had the Apple card as well? What? Oh, boy. Very frustrated with Apple. Of course, I tried it like minute 3 when it comes to Find My. It was already locked. The guy locked it locked it up from her right away. This isn't going to be an increasing thing so long as they're able to figure this out and do this rapidly like this. The snatching and stuff will go up. I recommend alternative security measures from passcodes, obviously, and being careful in general. But it is such a... I mean, I didn't have this exact experience, and this sounds terrible, obviously, but I had the car stolen, and it's a very, like, a violating type of experience, and this is maybe even more personal than that, right? It's... I
don't know if this had anything to do with her not using Face ID.
What, the fact that she worked at Revelio Labs, a workforce intelligence company?
Yeah.
Why would that...
Intelligence company? Maybe she is more skeptical on the technology or something. I don't know. It's a stretch, but
yeah,
there's a reason why she's not.
No, I think,
Face
but
ID.
I know, but people who have Face ID also have passcode because there's no fingerprint, so it's not like you have that dual setup. You have face and passcode, and sometimes, like, if the thing is laying on the table and you don't want to reach up to it, you just type your passcode, right? And she was at a restaurant. I assume that's what happened. She may have had Face ID, but also just used the passcode sometimes.
So is it really Apple's fault? I think I agree with you. I don't think it's
I'm
Apple's
not.
fault.
It's definitely not their fault.
But they didn't really help per situation.
Well, normally, you know how it is, right, with a credit card company, and I'm sure there's a variety of different types of treatment that people get, but when you call your credit card company and you want to report a fraud or a stolen card or something, they usually move pretty rapidly, and helpfully.
They run back the transactions.
So I don't know why, if she had the Apple card, which it sounds like, I mean, there was a section on Goldman Sachs, right? Here we go. While visiting Apple Store in search of support, she received an email from Credit Karma showing an application for an Apple credit card. Another email showed the application had been approved while she was on hold with Apple card support. So somebody else actually applied for the Apple card using her name. Like, her whole life's getting screwed up over here. It's full-on identity theft. But it just, I think because everything is so integrated, everything really what the message here is that we have now so many eggs into one basket type scenario where you're unlocking the whole identity with a 4-digit code. Like, it's almost like you don't even want to have a passcode at all. It's just biometrics and that's it. Or everything has to have 2 steps to it, or we need more complex codes. Like, you know what I'm saying here? Because, or maybe we go back to keeping some of our eggs in a separate basket. Because this is just a terrifying experience. It happens to a lot of people, but like where the responsibility lies, at least historically has been the credit card company. It's in exchange for convenience of having a credit card. But in her case, it says bank account. So I presume that's like debit. Listen, it's all over the place. We got too many things attached over here. And it's extremely unfortunate. I don't know who's going to help and who's not going to help. But obviously, at this point, when you go through an experience like that, Will, you're not going to feel too fondly of anybody that you felt could have helped but didn't. And you're also just not going to be in a good mood anyway.
Sure. $10,000 lost. Jeez.